All right, Ryan, I have a thought, I have an idea from last night. So I was watching The Last Dance. Kind of seems to be the big show right now. And so I was thinking along the lines of what's the difference between anger and passion? Because sometimes people get the two mixed up as far as is there healthy, unhealthy anger? How do you know when somebody is passionate versus um, someone who is a toxic individual, especially in, when we're watching sports, he's like, oh, that coach is passionate and that coach is not passionate. Is Michael Jordan passionate, or does he have uncontrollable anger on the court? So I'm still bouncing around these thoughts. I don't know if you had any thoughts about this subject.
Sure. Thanks for having me on again. And you know what? The idea behind your example of The Last Dance is funny because, of course, I grew up in the 90s. I was, 18, 19 years old. The Chicago Bulls were like idols. And people are like, wow, these guys won 6 championships. And they're like, how do they do that? How do they make that work? And then you watch a guy like Jordan from the time he was at North Carolina, making that game-winning shot against Georgetown in 1982, getting drafted to growing and maturing, changing his game. And the bottom line is he was just better than everybody else. He still is. He doesn't even play anymore. I mean, how can a guy still be better than everybody else? He doesn't even play. He doesn't even suit up. He's sitting in his home. And the bottom line is he was. And there is a difference between anger and passion. And some athletes, like a Jerry Rice, who has shared many times that he lived in fear of his father because his dad was a bricklayer and he would learn how to catch bricks with his hands. He didn't want to fail him. Versus a guy that's passionate, like a Michael Jordan, about wanting to be the best, wanting to be the greatest, wanting, had a will to get to the top. Did he ever have anger and frustration? Absolutely he did with the organization. It was clear in the Last Dance with Jerry Krause, who used to be the general manager of the Chicago Bulls, that Jerry didn't care anything about Michael Jordan. He just wanted to be, Jerry wanted to be Jerry. Jerry wanted to be Mike. And Jerry couldn't be Mike because there's only one Mike. And so even Magic said he couldn't be Mike. So yeah, there is a big difference in anger and passion. Healthy anger, healthy passion. There's healthy anger. I'm frustrated. It's communicated with more of a resolve. You're not looking to punch somebody. You're not looking to hurt somebody. Jordan never did that. Jordan was a leader and a fighter. He wanted the best for his teammates, but he also wanted to prove to the world that his level of passion for basketball was greater than anybody else's. And his success for life, he plays golf. He went and played baseball for the Birmingham Barons. He's an example of a guy who really led by passion. How you perceive that usually comes back to yourself. And so we have programs that create whether we're passionate or we're angry. And I grew up thinking I was very passionate, and what came out was a lack of security, was a lack of my identity, and it came out that way. And a lot of times it came out in yelling and screaming. It caused me jobs. Sometimes I was in the ministry. I needed to step out because of my emotional dysfunction. So there is a difference between that. And I think when you finally find that difference, you have the opportunity to step into a different level of thought, and then you get to act on it. That's the key. Most people won't do that. Most people won't step into that. And that's the key. That's the difference with really having anger that's healthy and passion rather than unhealthy anger, unhealthy. And you can always see it too, because success is not. Most people don't have success when they're just angry, or if they do, they're not the leader or they're not in charge. They filter out their anger through certain things, and it kind of limits them from being better than they could be, because that energy that they are actually wasting on their anger could be used to generate passion, generate ideas. There's a difference between competition and creativity. Jordan, everybody's like, oh, Jordan was the most competitive person in the world. No, Jordan was the most creative basketball player in the world. And the reason he was so passionate was because he came up with new ideas, new ways to play. He created a jump shot. The triangle offense, Tex Winters came in, set the triangle up. What did Jordan have to do? He had to find the open man. For the first 4 or 5 years of Jordan's career, he scored 50 points or more in so many games, but they never made the playoffs. People are like, well, why didn't they make the playoffs? I don't understand. He's so good. He's just one guy. So he had to create that. So he took his passion and created that. And that's what made the Bulls the Bulls. And so you could have your own 6 championships by taking your anger and making it passion. I don't know if that makes sense. I mean, that's just kind of a quick overview of it. And there's way more to it than that. Go.